The class that I went for observation in was a preschool special education class, and I did the APERS assessment in the class to look at just different areas of the class. So, first, I'm going to talk about the positive learning environment. The class definitely did have a positive learning environment. All the staff members spoke very softly to the children and were very gentle with their words. Sometimes they did get a little more firm to talking to them, but overall they were very soft and gentle and very loving to the children. And if the students were having difficulty, like let's say with the transition or with the activity, they didn't want to do it, they use the visual schedule to remind them that they have to complete that activity before moving on to the next activity. The teachers were praising the kids with verbal affirmations of when they were doing their work. To keep the students on task, they used super butterflies to reinforce their good behaviors and completing their work. The learning environment structure and the schedule. So the schedule was posted on the wall. They had a visual schedule posted on the wall for the whole class. And then a few of the students had a personal schedule with each activity they were transitioning to. So not all of them had the visual schedule, but some of them did. And I didn't get a chance to ask the teacher why only some of them had it, but most of them did. During the class times before they transitioned to the next activity, there would be a warning where they would prime them. We have 3 minutes left in this activity, then we'll be moving on to the next activity. And some of the kids were given more primes than the others. I noticed that one student in particular needed lots of priming and lots of warnings of moving to activities because he had certain activities that he liked and certain activities that he didn't. So it seemed that they were priming him a lot on certain activities. Now I'm going to talk about the learning environment. Upon entry to the classroom, the students had their own cubby with their own name on it, so they each had their own space, and they were able to independently put their items in their cubby where they belong. And throughout the class, there were 4 staff members. The teacher was able to have her eyes on all the students at all times because the way she structured her class, she had one staff member with each group, and she jumped from different groups, whoever needed that extra support. So this made it very easy for her to have her eyes on all of the students to make sure that they were all engaged and they were all safe. And each area was structured in a way they knew what was expected at that activity. So like in the play center, the toys were set out nicely, they're organized so the students could find the toys that they want. And then in the other 2 centers, they had certain activities in them. One was a craft. And so when the students went over there, they knew exactly what they were going to do. They were going to do their craft, and then they were going to get the option to pick an activity after they completed their craft. Overall, the classroom was very appealing to me. The way they had it structured, the kids knew exactly what they were supposed to do in each activity. The teacher had shared with me that she has the same kind of activities in that area every day, so the students kind of know what is expected in that area. So the crafts are always done at the red table, and whereas the concepts that they're learning, they do that at blue table. So the students already have been prepped through routine what was expected of them, and I really liked the way she had everything structured and set up. The only one thing that I would change in the environment is to maybe have more schedules, more visual schedules, because I did notice that there was one student that maybe would have benefited from being on a visual schedule because she was having difficulty transitioning to some activities. But overall, the classroom looked amazing and just very structured and very inviting. And there were activities there to encourage that social interaction, But then there were also areas that had, a quiet space where they could go away if they did need some quiet space. I think that overall it was a very well run classroom, very structured, in a way for optimal learning to occur.